Okay, we're going to start today at Revelations 2. I'm going to do this quick, try to make 10 minutes for people with short attention spans. Matter of fact, we're going to start at Revelations 1. And we're going to start when John the Revelator had seen Christ. And he says, I turned to see that spoke to me. Being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks, and in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, which is Christ, with a garment down to the foot, in a girt about the paps with a golden girdle. And his head and his hairs were white like wool. His head and his hairs were white like wool. That's like facial hairs. His head was white. White as snow. And his eyes were as the flame of fire. And his feet was like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace. And his voice was as the sound of many waters. And his feet was like unto fine brass, as if they burned in the furnace. Brass is already brown. Anything you burn is going to be darker. Okay. Only reason I went over this is because we're going over paganism. And because that's what it's going to get into in Revelations 2. Because it's the season, right, to be holy. So this is going, when it talks about this, we separate in the fact that there isn't a white guy named Jesus who came and said that we don't have to follow God's law. That sounds like the devil. Like if a white guy comes and tells you don't have to follow God's law, that's the devil. It's not Christ. So now, with that being noted, we're going to start off with Revelations 2. Unto the angel of the church of Ephesus, write these things, saith he that holdeth the 7 stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of 7 golden candlesticks. I know thy works and thy labors, and thy patience, and how thou cannot bear them which are evil. And thou hast tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and hast found them liars, and hast borne, and hast patience, for my name's sake, hast labored, and has not fainted. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love. So he broke down everything that he loved about the people, all the works that everybody doing, but you left your first love. You stopped doing the thing which he originally gave the people that separated them from everybody else in the world, which was his law. It's going to prove that when we keep going. It says, remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent. That means to stop doing whatever you're doing, and do the first works. That's the law. Do the thing you originally did before there was a Christ that people said came to do away with the law. We kept the law. So that's what he's saying to do. Or else I will come unto thee quickly, and I will remove thy candlestick out of thy place, except thou repent. So each time he's saying, if you don't do this, a judgment is coming. You're going to be punished for not doing this. But this hast thou, that thou hatest the deeds of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate, which is the basic form of what we call like Christianity right here. You know, right now, today, like you could worship anything you want, you could eat anything you want, you could do. This was the doctrine that they had. So he's saying he hated that doctrine. So you hate it as well, but you don't do the works of the law. So think about that, because that's super deep. It says, which I also hate. He that have a ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcometh will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of paradise of God. And unto my angel of the church of Smyrna, write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive. I know thy works, thy tribulations, and thy poverty, but thou art rich, in thy poverty. But thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. And behold, the devil shall cast some of you in prison, that ye may be tried. First off, that's just proof, evidence that the people who say they are Jews, that worship in synagogues, they're not. In their synagogues with the 5-sided star or the 6-sided star is of the devil. The 5-sided star is of the devil too. All of those symbols and idols are against God, and we're about to get into that. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation for 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh shall not be hurt by the second death. That means if you make it into the kingdom, you don't have to worry about the next judgment when all the books is open. And unto the angel of the church of Pergamos write, these things saith he which have the sharp sword with 2 edges. I know thy works, and where thou dwellest, even where Satan's seat is. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith. These were the 7 churches in Asia. Asia Minor, Europe. So Satan's seat, before he went up into space with NASA and all of them, was in Europe. So that's important to know. And thou holdest fast my name, and hast not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you, where Satan dwelleth. But I have a few things against thee, because thou hast there them that hold the doctrine of Balaam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. To eat meat sacrificed to idols, to eat unclean meats that God told you not to eat, and then commit fornication. It's spiritual fornication, meaning worshiping another God which is not the true God. And that's why I wanted to hit on this, definitely, because this is like all the pagan holidays. Any holiday you worship, doing the things that are against God, could worship God on any day. All these things are systems that were set up by devils in previous lifetimes that you still hold fast to, that we still hold fast to. It says, so hast thou also them that hold the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, which thing I hate, like we talked about earlier, because you could do anything you wanted to in their doctrine. So both of these doctrines are giving you an excuse to break God's law, which was the first thing he told the first church, don't do. It says, repent, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will against them with the sword of my mouth. Quickly, and will fight against them with the sword of my mouth. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. To him that overcome, I will give him to eat of the hidden manna, and will give him a white stone, and in the stone a new name written, which no man knoweth save he that receiveth. And unto the angel of the church of Thyatira, these things saith the Son of God, who hath the eyes like unto a flame of fire, and feet like unto fine brass. I know thy works, thy charity, thy service, in thy faith, in thy patience, in thy works, the last more than the first. Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that Jezebel, that woman, Jezebel, which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication, and to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent for her fornication, and she repented not. So this is another thing that he's talking about. When you put a woman in front of the head of the church, and now she's over the doctrine. So now she's saying, yeah, you can eat. Christ died so you can do whatever you wanted to do. It's the same thing. Is the devil, if you can't see the pattern, the devil's attacking us in different ways to make us do things which would go against God, which would be worshiping another God other than the God that we're supposed to worship. It says, Behold, I will cast her into a bed, and them that commit adultery with her, into great tribulation, except they repent of their deeds. That's saying them who do the same things as her is going to suffer with her, right? And I will kill her children with death, and all the children and all the churches shall know that I am he which searches the reins and hearts, and I will give unto everyone of you according to your works. So that means anything you put out, if you're doing what you're supposed to do according to him, he's going to give you back that. If you're doing against him, he's going to give you back that. That's what he's saying. But unto you I say, and unto the rest of Tertia, as many as have not this doctrine, meaning you didn't follow the woman prophetess who was seducing people and getting them to eat things against God. You weren't following that doctrine. As many who do not follow that doctrine, in which have not known the depths of Satan, because you don't deal with the devil, or you're trying not to deal with the devil. You should be fighting him. As they speak, I will put upon you none other burden, meaning he will not make you suffer any worse thing than you're already suffering in the current time when judgment comes. But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him I will give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with the rod of iron. As a vessel of potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I have received of my Father. Meaning you'll be put in a position of authority over people. And the things that aren't set in line won't make it into this kingdom. Okay? And I will give him the morning star. He that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit say unto the churches. Now we're going fast, so I'm going to hop right from that, and we're going to hop into Jeremiah 10, just to break this down really quick, and then I'm going to have a little summary. It says, hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel, saith the Lord. Learn not the ways of the heathen, and be not dismayed by the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. That's talking about the time we coming into. December 21st, December 25th, the sun technically dies. A short amount of sunlight you get for the next 3 days. After that, the sun starts gaining light. That's what they celebrate. It's not Christ's birthday. That's why you celebrate a tree. He told us not to do that, not to worship that, not to be dismayed by the things that they're doing. It says, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree. So this is a custom to that time. That's what he's saying. To the time of the signs in the heavens, this is their custom. Thus saith the Lord. It says, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of a workman, with an axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as a palm tree, but they speak not, and must need to be borne. That means they need to be carried. They need to be brought. You got to bring a tree into your house and set it up and decorate it, because they cannot go. It can't move on its own. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. That's why little kids be crying, and you be forcing them to be around them things until they enjoy it. Neither also in them is there good to do. So they can't do no good. Even though you receive a present from the tree, you don't. The person who gives you the present should technically give you the present and not the tree that you bow down to. It says, for as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee do it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and of all their kingdoms, there is none like unto thee. But they are altogether brutish and foolish. Stock is a doctrine of vanities. So, it's going to go into how they decorate the tree. But we don't really have to get into all of that. It pretty much just broke down not to get a tree. If you want to keep reading it, it's Jeremiah 10. It'll tell you how they decorate it with silver, gold, and all the different things you decorate the tree with to this day. I just wanted to go over that because if you think that what you're doing is for God, you're against Him. So don't be prepared in the time of judgment if you get judged for doing these things. God is a merciful God, and this is the mercy that He's giving you right now to allow you to hear this and to change and repent of your ways before judgment comes. All right. How long was it? Too long.